because you're going through like a series of learning, but this is just what I've convinced myself that I am. So I guess this is the way it's got to be. You know what I mean? So I'm ready to rock with whatever comes my way. Yeah. And I just got like comfortable with things that like I didn't expect them to go that way. So I just got comfortable with it that way and found a way to overcome it.
You are now tuning in to the Relentless Project. Real people, real stories, real life.
Well, bro, I appreciate you for coming on the Relentless Project. It's been a long time coming.
I know it's been a long time. I'm happy to be here.
You know, I like to, I'm always upfront and transparent, dude. I'm like, dude, what the fuck was up with that guy?
Yeah.
And then when I'd see you at fights, you'd be like, hey, what's up, bro? And I'm like, no, what's up? But you're here.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, this is the one with Taylor Cahill. And tell us a little bit about you. I'd like to start with why are you here? Why do you do what you do? If someone says, who's Taylor Cahill? What's your response to that?
I don't know. I guess I'm trying to grow into a bunch of different things. You know what I mean? So I would think that people think of me as a wrestler for the most part.
I would say, yeah. I mean, that's how I got to know you, is wrestling. The wrestler.
Yeah, but I think that more so, I don't know. I've always had an interest for MMA, and I've always wanted to fight. So, I mean, I can remember begging my parents to put me into boxing when I was young, like really young, and then they took me to wrestling instead. But sports were the way growing up. My dad was really competitive, and there was 3 of us. So
what sports? What was like your main sport growing up?
Wrestling. Probably until like 8th grade, I switched mainly wrestling. Like before, I was big football. My dad played at St. Francis. He was a really good football player, so he kind of pushed it on us. My little brother was really good because of his size. He was a heavyweight state champion too.
How didn't you stay in football? Usually,
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I just think that like over time, especially I wasn't from Pittsburgh, so I was from like the Somerset area, which there's a lot of small town like drama. You know what I mean? So I don't think that
a lot of politics.
Sometimes, the best guy's always playing, and I don't think that necessarily the best guy always has to play, because you can get results with normal. You don't have to be above average out there. You know what I mean? If you are, you know, it might come in different forms just because the talent level isn't that great. So I think it's easier to hide people. And I just think that like it wasn't worth it for me. Not saying I was the best football player, but I mean, I could play football pretty well. I think I was more drawn to wrestling because it was one-on-one and I could control the outcome.
I always saw the guys who were the best at football usually wrestle. There was this dude, Andy Welton.
I would have to agree with that, yeah.
Andy Welton, man, up in Erie. He would go to wrestling practice. He was like one of the only guys who was allowed to wrestle and play football.
Yeah.
He would go to wrestling practice and then come to football practice late and run us through, and like just run through us in football.
Yeah.
After a full wrestling practice. Dude was a unit. Dude,
what school is that?
That was for Central Tech.
Okay.
When I played for them. So yeah, it's always like those skills, especially he played like line, and then they put him in DN, and just linebacker. Dude was nasty. Like you put him in a position, I think he even played tight end at one point and just caught the ball and just walked through people. But wrestling was his thing. And I think he was a phenomenal football player, but he was definitely a better wrestler.
Yeah.
So you started wrestling at a young age. Usually that's typical for guys.
I was 5 years old, yeah.
The guys I talk to here, it's like, oh, they do jiu-jitsu and MMA. Started wrestling. Meanwhile, I just started jiu-jitsu at like 28.
Yeah.
Fucking getting bulldozed by you guys. What were some of the challenges? Did you face any challenges growing up that kind of shaped you? Everyone has a different story. I spoke to Rich Candelina.
Yeah, he's the man.
Dude, he's the man. And he's like, I didn't have a rough upbringing.
Yeah.
I had it great. My family loved me.
Yeah.
And he's just as nasty as everyone else.
Yeah, I kind of was the same way.
That's dope.
You know? I mean, there were things that you faced, but I mean, nothing like substantial like some people have to go through. You know what I mean? No, we had a good life. My dad was, you know, he worked hard his whole life. You know what I mean?
Blue collar guy?
Yeah. And he
couldn't tell.
Yeah. He gave us what we needed, you know, not necessarily always what we wanted, but most of the time what we wanted. You know what I mean? But always what we needed to be successful. And that was a big thing. I mean, we're not like rich by any means. You know what I mean? But
rich in life.
We work hard for everything we have. So
anytime I hear rich, I think of the.
I don't think people understand the real meaning of that.
Yeah. What the? I'm the big reggae singers literally just escape. I have ADHD. We're gonna do a lot of this.
Bob Marley.
Yeah, the Bob Marley quote when he's like, "Are you rich?" And he's like, "What is riches?"
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what is riches?
Yeah.
Like, you got a family. You guys are close. I mean, regardless of what people think or say,
Yeah.
your fucking family's tight.
Yeah.
You know, I experienced that firsthand.
Yeah.
you guys are tight.
Yeah,
and,
we're tight.
And that's like, not a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't grow up with a tight family. I mean, single mother, but like we were tight. We still tight. If I don't call her every day, she gets pissed off. But like having that intact family unit speaks volumes on how you grow.
Yeah, I think it's just how we've always done things. So my dad came from pretty much nothing, and he kind of like he raised us in a certain way. But yeah, we're definitely like a pack of wolves. But I think that you have to be.
Oh, for sure.
I think you have to be, and I think that usually most people that you run into that are successful, they have a pretty small group of people that they work with, and those are their people. You know what I mean? And you have to respect that
For sure.
because that's how you get good.
Yeah, I mean, what they say, it takes a village.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
So, did you go to college?
Yeah. So I went to 3 different schools. I graduated and went to Bloomsburg University. So that's where the first place too that I coached. So I was able to coach Division I last year with John Stutzman as the head coach, and he offered me a job when my little brother was wrestling at Buffalo, and I turned it down just because I had other things going on in my life that I was really focused on. But then when he asked me for a second time, I knew I couldn't pass it up. So
Things like that don't come twice.
Yeah, so I got to wrestle there my first year, and then I got to coach there, which was awesome. So it came full circle. But then I also went to Clarion.
Oh, you went to Clarion?
Yeah, so I was there for 3 years, and then I spent my last year at the University of Buffalo. So 5 years Division I.
5 years Division I.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit you can take from that. Like,
Yeah,
I was wrestling
hard,
in D1 because someone told me a quote like, if you want to teach someone how to deal with loss and losing and learn patience, put them in wrestling.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it was cool. I mean, I was at the highest level with the best guys. You know what I mean? So you're competing against the best guys in the world. And it's hard to stay consistent. I think at the time it's more overwhelming than I look at it to be now. But I also think that I'm just better now than I was then because I had more time on the mat. So I think ultimately that's all it's about is how much time you can have on the mat and how you can do it in a place where they're not selling you short of like your dreams and being the best, and if you're in a spot where they're not promoting that or they don't think it's possible, then you need to leave there as quick as possible and find somewhere that is, because that's the only way to get good is, to put those positive affirmations out there, but then also put the work in and be around people that are putting the work in. So when I started changing my surroundings, I started changing like the trajectory, I think, of my skills and abilities.
It's that time under tension, man. Like, you can apply that to anything, not just in the gym. Like, time under tension to me is like when we're lifting. I just saw it today. I was at the gym this morning, and you see a guy in there just doing the rep. And I wanted so bad to go. I'm not that guy. I wanted so bad to go there and be like, hey, can I show you a different way to do this?
Yeah.
Like, slow, control. Like, you want to be under that stress, under that pressure. That's how your muscles grow. Same with wrestling. Like, you got to be on the mat. You got to be doing the drills.
You got to be developing your skills.
Like, you just show up and get, like you're not in there mentally.
Yeah.
You're not taking anything from it. The time and attention. What got you into jiu-jitsu? I'm always interested in why the wrestling guys jump shit.
So I would say, like, growing up, like, I definitely had a lot of good coaches with wrestling, but I definitely did things unorthodox because I was athletic and I matured pretty young, and so did my brothers. I mean, I'm the same height now as I was when I was in 8th grade. Right. So like,
Me too.
Yes. Yeah. So like, I haven't grown much since then, but, I just think that like there were some habits that I picked up along the way that were unconventional. And I think that they actually relate to jiu-jitsu pretty well. And the things that I had to do in order to win wrestling that way growing up kind of played into the jiu-jitsu mindset and approach. So it allowed me to kind of understand that. And then as I went on, I understand more that grappling in itself just blends. So the same thing could have been applied in wrestling, but I didn't do it that way. So I have a different outlook, I think, on the sport. And I think that it's a lot simpler than people make it out to be. But I think that you have to be focused and you have to understand where you're getting. So I just went to a little rabbit hole there. But
no, it's good. I like rabbit holes, dude.
Yeah.
We're here for a good time.
Yeah. So, I mean, jiu-jitsu, I've always had an interest in it. And I started with Isaac Reilly at the Mat Factory.
Good dude.
When I was at Clarion, I would drive down and I'd work with them. Not really in the gi at all, just all no gi. And then I went to Buffalo for my redshirt senior year, and I took that like time to completely quit training anything else. So I would always train like boxing or, no gi, some sort of martial art too, in conjunction to wrestling since the time I was about probably like 16, 17.
So you were actually doing jiu-jitsu while you were still wrestling in college.
Yeah. And I think as I really started to progress with it and really started to chase it, I got a lot better. Started using my feet as hands and things like that. And I think you just learn and find different avenues to move in different ways and different pathways, just to get to the end goal, which is controlling somebody. But when I started going down to the Mat Factory, it kind of just opened my horizon to it. And then I took that next year or two just to focus on straight wrestling. And then when I came back from Buffalo, I found Danilo.
Well, that's a good, and talk about the place to end up, Mat Factory.
Yeah.
Because huge wrestling gym, but they also apply a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
What were some of the principles you found to be similar in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and some that you found to be different that gave you kind of like a competitive edge?
I don't know. I don't think I really understood it as much until I did go to Danilo's. I mean, I understood I don't think that my knowledge for jiu-jitsu was as good then, is what I'm saying. But I think that there's a transition period as a wrestler that when you really start to train that you go through. And I think I was able to bypass that with the Mat Factory because I was just in there and you're going with, they have some of the best guys in Pittsburgh,
Dogs, bro.
Yeah, but they also have a very heavy wrestling approach too. So you never know what you're going to get, but you have to go a lot harder. You have to, your live goes are going to be a lot more under stress, I think, there than they are other places in the city because I think the talent level is pretty high at the Mat Factory. But when I went to India, it came that kind of completely different style approach. And it was a lot of in the gi, and Danilo made us start on our back. And we weren't allowed to be on,
that's the worst.
Right? We weren't allowed to be on top. So I just think it really started honing my game in, and it kind of gave me a more complete look at it. So
it's it's a sweet and sour whenever I go against a new wrestler coming in or a wrestler coming into jiu-jitsu new. It's it's going to suck. It's going to be the worst 5 minutes of my life, but I'm going to have a neck and arms open.
Yeah.
Usually that's usually what I see. So did you experience that when you first transitioned? You guys aren't allowed to be in wrestling, being on your back is not good.
Yeah.
In jiu-jitsu, you learn to be comfortable there and to learn you can attack from there, you can transition from there. And then you guys like to be all spread out, and that's how you get the base. In jiu-jitsu, everything's you want to be tight because you don't want your limbs out.
Yeah.
Did you experience that?
I think that I just wanted to be good. So I didn't really experience that as much because I understood the sport that I was doing, and I understood that going to your back I'm not getting pinned. So I'll go to my back and I'll just, you know what I mean? Obviously I'm trying to be active at all points, but I'll go to my back and lay there. Oh, I don't feel uncomfortable at all.
That's my rest.
Yeah, that's what I'm resting. I'm breathing, dude. So it's but against good guys, you can't. You can't just relax there. But you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of messing with it. No, I didn't have that insecurity because I do think that that's all it is that feeling like you're defined by your style. So you have to stay in certain spots because you feel that you need to win this or you need to show them how strong you are. And I didn't really experience that because I was just trying to find ways to get to their back or ways to win, and other avenues to win and ways to expand my game and my skill set because I'm not training to be the best in the room. I'm training to be able to beat the best guys in the world in a cage. So if my skills aren't honed in, then I can get exposed, which, there's a high risk for that already in MMA because there's such a small margin for error. So I really wasn't worried about how people looked at me in the situation or the gym I was in. I think that I was more focused on how can I keep myself safe in all aspects and put myself somewhere else right now when I'm training that I might not always be the guy on top. I might be the guy on bottom that's getting beat up, and I need to find a way to, keep myself safe so I can get to the second round or the third round and I can continue to fight. So
how do you stay committed, motivated?
It's hard.
You've been doing this shit for a long time.
It's hard. I just think that I accepted it's a way of life. And I think that I learned how to control it better so I'm more balanced. Because when I first started, I had no balance. And I feel bad for the people that were around me everything was about like a fight. And now that I'm thinking my first amateur fight, like I put so much into it and so much thought, and like I think that I needed to. I think at the time it was necessary, but now I'm looking back at it and like how small of a deal it was in the big scheme of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I mean it's good.
And then just trying to get better from there, because you can't continually do the same thing. You have to do things differently, and you have to go through times where maybe you're not doing as much, and times you're doing more, and then just find a balance through that. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Still doing
I'm still trying. I'll never be perfect at it.
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
What was the catalyst that got you into from wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and now you're like, I want to compete. I want to go into the next level of the sport.
I had boxing matches in college too. So
what didn't you do? Did you do Muay Thai? Did you do
no,
Muay Thai?
I didn't. No Muay Thai.
No Muay Thai. All right.
Yeah, so I had 2 boxing matches in college, and I was just really interested in it, and I knew what I wanted to do.
What was that?
Fight MMA.
What was that? What was that itch? Why fight MMA?
That was the coolest thing in the world for me growing up, and then just like right now, I think that's a pretty cool job to be a professional athlete. You know what I mean? And to be at the point where you can do it full time, and I don't mean do it full time in a training sense, because you can do that, and that's sometimes that's beneficial, but I mean like do it full time in a sense like you're getting paid big money.
It's your life.
It's your life. Like you're doing it full time. Like it's my life right now, but I also have other things that that I have to do. So
what do you do outside of MMA? Like
I just help my dad's company. It's just a small construction company. We just do metal roofs and steel buildings
you
and stuff.
guys in construction?
Find
an office job, dude. Find an office rest.
Because then I'll be sleepy. If I can move all day, I can get so much stronger. I feel like and especially when you're doing roofs, like I guess before I was doing a lot more training, geared towards more training full time. But I think that this part of my life, I think it's been good to kind of become more of a man in a sense, and try to do some physical labor and make money the way that, like, in ways that my dad made money for his family growing up, and learn that so I can understand more about my life and where I come from.
Dude, construction is dope to me. Like,
but yeah,
put houses together and roofs on.
It's tough.
You're doing that. There's men out
here. So
I'm training
even when I'm not training. That's what my mindset is trying to be.
Yeah.
Because then days that I do take off because I have to, at least I got something in today that I'm proud of.
So you've always wanted to do MMA. Yeah. Walk us through. Like,
I think I'm just a fighter.
You signed your first. I know that. For those who know, walk us through signing your first fight. Like you've been training. Now you're like, you make the decision, and then you schedule a fight with the guy.
Gunnar Spain actually first. So I was a little bit nervous because he was a college wrestler too. He wrestled at Drexel, and he's a professional right now too. So like, kind of seeing some of the guys that have built through their careers now that like were at the same spot I was then was pretty cool. We're seeing a guy like Dalton Ross fighting for a world title.
Yeah,
that's cool because 8 years ago he was like, at my apartment in Clarion, and we're hitting mitts outside at 12 o'clock, and he's like saying he's going to be world champion. So it's like,
you're not.
Yeah, so it's cool because it's
is.
like, wow, like look at him now. He's actually, he's going to become a world champion, but he just fought for a world title, which is, it's incredible to see, and it's inspirational. So seeing that, it's kind of cool. But yeah, I was a little bit nervous at the time too for that because it was my first fight, and fighting gets you a different type of tired,
Oh yeah,
all the anxiety you have out there, and
adrenaline dumps, like.
So it's best to just stay calm, but you don't understand that at the time, and you don't understand how to actually, fully control your body in there. So you don't know sometimes how you're going to react. I think especially when you're younger and fighting, I'm getting to that point where I'm getting relaxed with it. It's like, I know what I'm in for. And
I remember
you got to be ready for it. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal now, but it was then.
My first fight, I was nervous. I threw up before. Like that's, straight up pussy.
Yeah.
But I get in there. And I'm like, I think I got this. Like I always doubt myself with everything. I get kicked in the calf for the first time because like in training, you're getting kicked or whatever, and dudes aren't trying to kill you because they're your team. They're usually your partners. Dude, I got kicked in the calf, and I felt it up my spine. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I can't step on my foot.
Yeah.
Like I can't step. What do I do now? Punch. And I'm having this conversation with me while trying to fight this guy. I don't know how I pulled through. But I did. And I remember telling myself after, I was like, I did it. I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
I did it again. But What was your mindset leading up to training for the fight? Because a lot of people don't understand. Like, you're signing. I would rather, be here and then we end up fighting. Cool, no problem. But to sign something that says on this date and this time, you're going to be in this cage against this person who wants to take you out.
Yeah.
That's a whole different level.
I think you're not in a training sense, but I think your thought process as far as like procrastination goes, that's where that comes in. Cause like, you don't have to worry about it until then, really. You just got to worry about doing all the little things up to that point that are going to control the outcome in a way that, give you the best chance to win. But other than that, I mean, that's really all you can do. And then I think like a big part for me in getting prepared for fights is like accepting what my opponent looks like and being prepared to see him. And then just like breathing through it and understanding what I'm getting myself into fully and like understanding where he's good and where he's not good and understanding what energy he's going to bring me so I can prepare for it. Because if I can do that, then it's not really that big of a deal.
And how did your first fight go?
Good. I knew I would win.
Oh, you went in there. See, like that blows my mind.
Yeah.
You're just like,
I knew I was going to win. I just took a deep breath before and I just stepped in and I said, this is what I was meant to do. This is my destiny. And this is why I'm here right now. So whatever you got to do to win this fight is what you got to do. And then that was like my first fight, but it was only 6 minutes. I mean, it wasn't like a big, like, it's not a big deal.
It's how many people fight?
Not a lot, but I mean, I'm not trying to be a lot of people,
That's what I'm saying. But like,
yes,
a lot of people who listen to this, don't fight.
Yeah.
Like the majority of the world doesn't fight.
It's crazy for me to understand.
And like I get it. This is what you're around, but like 1% of the US population train any martial arts.
Yeah.
1% of those do it competitively.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like, and I always tell people, if you can apply a fighter's mindset into whatever you're doing, construction, office work, an attorney, whatever, if you have that mindset and that approach to whatever you're doing, you're going to dominate that industry. It's
I think
inevitable.
so. But I think that's just it's just some of the traits that you need to be a successful person in general.
Yeah.
So
did you have any moments in your start that like confirmed like, this is it?
No, they probably were like, some of the times they were probably like not pleasant experiences. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Because you're going through like a series of learning, but this is just what I've convinced myself that I am. So I guess this is the way it's got to be. You know what I mean? So I'm ready to rock with whatever comes my way. Yeah. And I just got like comfortable with things that like I didn't expect them to go that way. So I just got comfortable with it that way and found a way to overcome it and continually get better no matter what the situation was or no matter what anybody said,
Can you tell us one of those moments, like one of those moments where you were like, you hit a wall and you're like,
well, I think they go back as far as like, I go back as far as like my wrestling career would have started. I guess that's not the right way to say it, but I think, they go back into when I was wrestling. I can remember being in situations that I made a conscious decision to win, And I can remember being in situations where I've experienced, the effects of what it looks like to be a bad teammate and what it looks like to be selfish and want to win things that don't actually matter. And I can get into those things. When I was in ninth grade, I can remember having the most takedowns on the team. And I can remember wanting to win the award at the Conoway Township banquet that had the most takedowns because that was my thing. I would take people down and I'd let them up. I could take anybody down on my feet.
And let them up is
and I would let them up. And I would take them down again, right? But that was my style of wrestling. I like to be a little bit slicker, so like I would get people on the edge of the mat and like I would bait them into doing things, or I'd get their emotions involved and then I'd hit them where they weren't expecting it, more so. But I guess what I'm getting at is my older brother had always won everything. Tanner was really good at a younger age. Like he was always top in the state and it was very hard to beat. So he won everything and he just beat my ass every day. You know what I mean? Like
he wouldn't be a good older brother if he did.
He just beat my ass every day. But I can remember wanting to win this award so bad that I was like, man, I hope he doesn't get this takedown in overtime when he was wrestling, to be at the state tournament. Right. And in a match that realistically probably shouldn't have been in, but he was. And the guy that he ended up losing to, he beat earlier in that year, but then he went on to be in the state finals the next week, right? So, like, that's where Tanner was at. That was his level. But in Pennsylvania, sometimes the competition is like that, you know, and it just doesn't shake out the way you think it will. So that's why the guys that are winning are like really special, because they have to be super consistent. And that's why, you know, winning in Pennsylvania has so much merit, is because the level of consistency that it demands is like that high. But I can just remember like wanting him to lose because I didn't want him to win and take that record. And then I think I saw the way that it affected his career in ways, and it can affect recruiting. And I started thinking to myself like, wow, how selfish I was in that time to think that for an award that was like, you know, just senseless and meant nothing. And then I mean, that was all in like real time. Like I'm thinking that as I'm watching him run out of the venue, and I can just remember thinking about how much of a coward I was, and that not understanding that if he won, I won, and if I win, he wins, and if I lose, he loses, and if he loses, I lose, right? Because that's what a team is. And just changing from that point on. I think I was 14 years old, so I'm happy that it happened then because I was a kid, and I guess I get that excuse.
Yeah.
But from that point on, you know, going through the next few years of my career, like that was one thing that I never experienced again, because I didn't want to feel that way, because my defeats and my successes, well, my successes are always associated with my team and my training partners. Unfortunately, you don't get to own those, but your losses you do own, and your defeats are on you, solely on you, and that's your responsibility to figure out how to fix it moving forward. It's not anybody else's problem. So don't bring your insecurities into anything, and don't try to affect your partner or your friends or brother's career because of your personal problems that you need to fix on your own. So that was just kind of the way that I had handled things from that point on.
Dude, that is holy shit.
But yeah, but people don't like to say that. You know
how
what I mean?
easy is it? How easy is it?
It's easy
for
to
people?
coach kids when I can be like that.
Yeah.
And I can tell them. That's why I think that some of the kids, especially we have Tanner helping out, Toby, Gavin Teasdale. So like the
How's
kids,
he been?
Great.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't seen or heard of him in a while.
He's doing good. He's got some exciting news coming up. So, but I won't.
You can't.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm not editing shit.
No,
Okay,
no.
don't say nothing you're not allowed to say.
But he's doing great. And but like just having kids come in, you know, to our club, it's been easy to get them good with that type of coaching and just being honest with them, and in a way treating them kind of like adults, but having then multiple coaches that have experienced things like that in their career, that maybe things haven't went the way that they wanted them, but you know, we can change it for the next, you know, group of kids coming through.
I'd like to expand on that, because how easy is it for people to do that in their personal lives?
So hard.
Man, like,
It's hard.
No, I mean, like, to have that mindset that you had at that age. Like, there's adults now
Oh yes.
who do that. Like, look at where the country's going. Like,
Yeah.
they want something so bad, and I don't think it's malicious.
Yeah.
I think people just
sometimes
are
it's
so,
subconscious.
Yeah,
They don't
so in
understand
their
it,
head
yeah.
that they will burn bridges and run over people to get something. And then when you get it, it doesn't mean anything because
Yeah.
of what you did to get there.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? It's just, it blows my mind when I see
Or it's
some
not
adults.
in good, like the intentions weren't good. So I think if the intentions are good, then generally it's not probably going to work out.
Facts.
Because I think I'm like a lot of it's based on faith and doing the right thing, you know. But it's I mean, especially fighting in general, it's different because there's a lot of like entertainment that goes into it. So you want to be competitive and have, I don't know,
I'm
like
totally
a little
with
bit,
that. I'm totally
a little
with
bit
that.
of entertainment with
No,
it too.
totally
But
agree
at
with
the
that.
end of the day, it's. I mean,
I just mean like having that mindset you did at 14, and then I see that today with
well, I
grown
think
adults.
that's what wrestling teaches you more so than the techniques or the titles that you win. Those are the things that wrestling puts you in the position to learn from. So I think that like that's why I'm grateful that I wrestled. But that could have happened if I was playing tennis. You know what I mean? That same situation could have happened, and I could have encountered that, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
So it's just about accepting the experiences in life that you can actually grow from and you can expand on yourself, and being able to recognize that, because then you can recognize it in other people, you know.
And so a lot of lessons in wrestling.
Yeah.
How do you?
So it keeps me easy going. That's why I'm easy going, because it's like I just don't overthink a lot of things, you know.
You have to be if you're fighting.
Yeah.
Professionally, you have to be easygoing.
Yeah, you have to be, because then when you fight, it's different.
Everyone's
you know?
talking shit.
Yeah,
everyone wants to
shit.
punch your card.
But yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you have to be easygoing, or you're gonna have a miserable career.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I see, like, especially like higher level guys. When I see them like popping off at fans, I'm like, what are you doing? You just
Yeah.
fought some dude who talked shit on you for 2 months on
Yeah.
social media. And
That's
this
crazy.
fan is the one that gets you.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah. What are some of the other lessons that doing martial arts has taught you? I mean, that's a very good one. But like, What are some things you can think of that maybe people can apply who don't fight?
Man, I don't know. That's hard. I guess because I'm not thinking of that.
This isn't an easy podcast.
Yeah,
my guy.
it's hard because that's off the top of my head. I would just say understand what's important. Understand what's important in your life and understand what your goals are. So I think one thing that being around a guy like Carter Starocki has helped me with more so than anything is just his mindset and the way that he approaches things. Right, that's why he's been able to do things that nobody else have ever done or might not ever do. Right, he might be cemented in legacy, especially if they don't, prove the new redshirt rule. But being around a guy that's won at that level, you see like, well, what are your goals? What's your ideal day look like? These type of things, like. So I think just applying those little principles to your life can change it, because then you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then how you have to, approach your life in order to get what you want, truly what you want, and what nobody else is trying to influence you to do. And then being able to express that, freely.
I think that's one of the biggest issues today is
if people don't express themselves in that regard,
and
they don't know what they're doing. So
yeah.
they're just doing things aimlessly. So there's no progress really being made.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would say that's what you can adapt from martial arts.
No, that's a good one, because there's even people in martial arts who are doing it who, if you think about it, like, you don't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
You're choosing to go drink or go see this girl or
but I mean,
skip
there's
training.
parts of life that do call for that, though. I feel like, you know what I mean? Because it is like you want that balance. But yeah, when you're training for certain things, you have to be fully locked in. But there are parts of your life where you're going to want to be, a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, I'm the most relaxed guy in that.
Okay.
But I mean, like I'll see someone go into a cage, right?
Yeah.
And then lose, and then be surprised as to why they lost, and then I look back, because I try to follow all the fighters, right? Like, I genuinely love what you guys do. I genuinely love your guys' mindset. And
what do you think about me when I fight?
I think you're a dog. I hate how you fight because it's unconventional. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate how you fight because
what do you mean it's unconventional?
Like, I can't expect the next thing.
Yeah.
Like, I usually when I follow someone, I can kind of expect what they're gonna do. With you, it's like, I don't know if you're gonna stand up. I don't know if you're gonna take down.
Yeah.
And when I'm like, oh, he's gonna take him down right here, you don't. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's a good thing though.
It is. Like, I just think of it like, if I were to fight you, I would hate it. It would suck because there's no. It's going off the whim.
Yeah.
I like your fights. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's very unconventional. I'm always like, I like to know things. So when I don't know things, it fucks with my mind.
Yeah.
I am always excited to see you fight.
I appreciate
which is
that.
why I'm always asking, like, hey, when's the next one? I just want to take a second to shout out a few companies who've believed in me. These were one of our first official sponsors, so huge shout out. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Carbo Jewelers, established in 1997 on the values of honesty and integrity. Whether you're searching for the perfect piece, need expert repair services, visit Carbo Jewelers in Newark's Ironbound District, where your jewelry is always in safe hands. This episode is also brought to you by Continental Jewelers, proudly serving Hudson County, New Jersey since 1964. Whether you're seeking a timeless piece or need expert repairs, they've got you covered. Visit Continental Jewelers, your trusted source for all things jewelry. You can find them on Instagram at Carbo Jewelers or online at carbojewelers.com. Lastly, big shout out to Carbo Trading. Besides coins, precious metals, and jewelry, if it could be traded and collected, he's probably got it. They can be found on Instagram at carbo.trading. You can find all of our sponsors out online on our sponsor page at therelentlessproject.com. When's the next one?
December 11th, I think.
December 11th. Cool. Is it going to be hopefully streamed?
Yeah, so I was supposed to fight in October, and that's where it's difficult in MMA too, because half the time it was my fault, maybe not staying as disciplined as I should have, but also then, the MMA game is crazy and fights come up and they fall apart, and sometimes you go through like cycles where you're, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to stay focused and this or that or whatever. Like, life, takes a hold of you sometimes. But, been doing this for as long as I have, I feel like now I'm getting to a point where I can really start getting some fights in. So had a fight scheduled for October. And then the promotion canceled the event the week of the fight, right? So I was training in Montreal for for a little bit and trying to find a spot that I could maybe go back to and train full time. So spent, a couple days up there and just being around the guys and staying in their dorms there, and then coming back home ready to do my weight cut, and then the fight fell apart. So, but luckily the organization Cage Thunder saved it, and they're going to do it in December at the Canton Civic Center. So it's going to be a big show. I'm excited for it. It's same opponent.
Oh,
yeah. So,
okay. Just gave you more time to prepare. That's all.
Well, yeah. So I think one thing too that I like look at it now is probably really jumping back into training this week hard. I was in a really good spot mentally, physically, probably the best I've ever been, I feel. And then the fight fell through. So I wanted to take a week and a half to really just like isolate from everything I was doing. In my life besides work, and just take a break and look at it like that fight camp I won that last fight. So now I'm 3-2 going into this next one, and I'm going to be 4-2, because I think that if I look at it as the same opponent and the same situation, then I think that I'm not going to get any better from what I was, and that's,
so you're reapproaching.
So yeah, it's a new fight. For me,
like
it's a new fight. Yeah, because I had to, because I can't stay focused that long on this type of opponent. I feel maybe if I was in the UFC fighting for a title, but even then I probably wouldn't be, because I don't want to. It isn't a personal thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like I have any issues with this guy, but in a way, when you fight, you have to approach it like that.
Well, you have to put yourself there. Like,
yeah,
you're going in and willingly.
Yeah, but I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be thinking of this guy for that long, I guess, in that regard, because I don't feel like he's a guy that's gonna be able to touch me.
How much have you changed within your camp?
A lot.
Okay, so that's a good approach, because he could have also changed. So now you have a whole new camp.
You have to keep that in perspective too. That I don't think he's doing what I'm doing, but I don't know. So I'm gonna prepare for the best fight of my life, and for 15 minutes.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. So
not that
no, you're good, because you have to respect your opponent, in this, and I've learned that. But I do know how good I am, and I know that if I apply my skill set, that he doesn't have a chance.
Since the last fight is over, we can talk about the training camp.
Yeah.
How did you prepare? Because you said you kind of had a whole new approach, man.
Crazy conditioning.
So what does that entail for you?
Just
like, do you run a lot?
Running, sprints, just kind of after I'm done working, just going right to the gym, and then doing a bunch, like I would say, like a bunch of different things. Like some days just wrestling hard and then doing wrestling conditioning. Some days like you're in there throwing as many punches as you can, and then wrestling or squeezing balls as tight as you can so that your arms are filling up with blood. Yeah, squeezing balls. Yeah, and then wrestling. Sometimes wrestling with bigger guys, and then throwing punches, just because my game's built off of grappling. But I also think, like, in general, it just makes your conditioning so much better when you can do anything, or you can use your muscles in any way and then still throw punches freely.
Do you swim?
I don't swim, no.
Have you tried? I wouldn't recommend trying something new in a new camp, but like, have you tried like swimming conditioning for fights?
I tried the Versa climbers are pretty crazy.
Oh, which one is that?
The one that you're like,
oh yeah.
I want to get one of those for my gym. They're pretty crazy. But I do a lot of bike sprints.
Dude, I would
a lot of hill sprints
for your
carrying
next
people
fight?
up hills, stuff like that.
Carries those. You guys do that a lot in wrestling.
Because I think before I was doing like a lot of like specific training, so I still do a lot of MMA drilling. But this last one, I've just been trying to go crazy conditioning, just get in the best shape of my life, because I feel like my skill set is pretty honed in and I know where I'm going. I just got to be able to sustain that for 15 minutes. If I can sustain it, then I'll be in pretty good shape. So I'm always staying consistent with my skills and staying simple. That's the biggest thing, is, not really trying to get too crazy with it. Just keep everything simple, keep it hard, keep it fast, and then stay focused and really trying to gauge distance, know when I'm in trouble, when I'm not in trouble, and then staying out of it. But being able to have that aerobic capacity to actually go out there and stay out of it when you have to.
Dude, I feel like that's huge, and it's often overlooked, because what happens when you're tired?
You give up. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to prevent in all cases. So that's been my focus, really, because like realistically in my life, like if I have lost at the highest level, it's because of that. So just recognizing that and putting my foot down and doing the things I have to do.
Owning it. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, I was watching it. The reason I asked that swimming thing is because I was watching.
But then knowing also what helps me do that and what doesn't help me, and addressing it and keeping certain things and certain, I guess certain people like away at certain times, you know, and understanding that.
How's your mindset when it comes to training for a fight rather than just training to stay active? Like, do you tailor to your opponent, or do you kind of just keep it to what you're doing?
I think recently I haven't tailored to my opponent as much, but moving forward I want to.
Oh, you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Tailored?
Yeah. How about it?
You better coin that, bro.
Yeah.
You better use that. I want that on
Tailor-made.
Instagram.
I need a sponsorship.
So like you starting to adapt your training and your camp to your opponent. Because I know people who embody both mindsets of they tailor to their opponent, or I tailor to my game.
I think if you don't, I think you're going to end up being a victim to that. Because you have to be prepared for what you're getting yourself into, because people do have different talents and different skills, and it's such a broad sport that there's so many different facets that go into it that if you're not prepared for one aspect as a whole, and that's his expertise, you're going to put yourself at greater odds to lose. Not saying you're going to lose, because there's ways that you never really know what's going to happen.
It's a game of chance as well. You know, you can prepare.
You have to be prepared for what somebody else is good at if you're not, because you can, succumb to it really fast if not.
The more you train, the more you prepare, the less likely you are to get caught.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. But less likely, though, because I don't think that anything guarantees it. It's not just going to happen. So you have to be prepared for that element, because you could work as hard as you want, but then somebody goes out there and takes it from you. So I think that's part of like working hard and wanting it. Like there's also guys that can just go in there and do it.
Yeah,
because they don't think of it. It's like a little bit of a cow. You need to have a little bit of cowboy in you.
It's also a fight, right?
Yeah, it's a fight. So there's a lot of things that go into it.
You drop, you throw a punch and you drop a little bit and you turn and then you get caught.
Yeah.
You didn't anticipate that. You didn't train for that. And that punch is the one that could fucking put you out.
Yeah.
That's why I love and hate this sport, because it's like you see two dogs going out and you're like, oh, he's got it. And then he makes, it's a game of it. Look what happened with Dalton.
Yeah.
Game of inches, dude.
I think that's how those guys train. Like, I think they prepare that way, because realistically, how can that guy beat him in all aspects of a fight? He probably can't. Like, Dalton can get the takedown when he wants. I think that the way Dalton approached that fight was, I think the next time, if it ever happens, he would win it.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he looked like he got a little tired because of the wrestling.
I think he spoke. Yeah, I think he spoke about that.
Oh, really? Yeah. When I watched it, I was like, shit. Like, because that type of fatigue you get from wrestling, like, Edwards isn't a wrestler, but he's fighting at the highest level of MMA, so he can wrestle better than most good wrestlers. I guarantee it. These guys know how, like, they know what they're doing, and they know how to train, like, specifically for MMA, so his MMA wrestling is probably pretty good. And Dalton kind of ragdolled him. But you could tell that it was wearing on him and it got tired. I mean, and he kind of probably set up that head kick the whole fight. That's probably what they were preparing to do. Because realistically, how many other ways could he beat Dalton? I don't think many.
Yeah, you have to catch a gap.
So you have to catch a gap, and you have to get him tired, and you have to kind of let him expose himself in a way, and then that's your chance, and that's why you have to respect Fabian Edwards for his performance. But ultimately, like, that's just a young Dalton. That's all. That's just young. He's still young in his career.
Old is he?
He's 29, so it's like
that's
he's still
crazy to me.
Yeah, so you don't know where his career is realistically going to go. You don't know if he goes and signs with the UFC and becomes the top of that division in the UFC, or you don't know if he comes back and wins the PFL title from that. You just don't know where he's going to go from here, but I guarantee it will be up.
And does he strength train?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
He says he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, like, in different ways. He used to.
I thought so. That dude,
but he does a lot of like sprints and stuff, like a lot of like fast twitch.
That dude can move.
Yeah.
Shit. I tore my hamstring.
Yeah, he was a college football player,
running from first base to second base.
Yeah, I think he played at Youngstown State. He played Division I ball, and he wrestled at Seton Hill as well. He's a pretty athletic guy.
Yeah, for sure, dude. He moves like he's 130 pounds.
Yeah,
and he's not.
And he's only gotten better, I think, too, as he's gotten older. He used to be able to do he probably still can, but he'd get on a treadmill and he would go do 5:30 miles on a treadmill, or like 6-minute miles on treadmill. So I'm like, dude, that's pretty impressive on a treadmill.
Yeah. I'd be at the back on the ground.
Yeah.
Spit out.
Yeah.
What do you like to do outside of MMA? We talk about it, and like, what do you do outside? Do you have any hobbies? I just spoke to Kyle O'Hare. You remember that kid?
Yeah, I know who he is.
The fucking dude, video games till 2 a.m.
Yeah, I don't video game.
You can't knock that because he's undefeated. It's like, okay, you're doing something right. What are your hobbies?
I don't know, man.
None. Just say none. That tells me nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just hang out. I mean, whatever, I guess. I like to hunt. I'm not really into fishing. I mean, I'll play Xbox, but no, I'm not like a crazy gamer.
What's your go-to game on Xbox?
UFC.
Oh, my
Yeah, it's the UFC.
All right, we got to get you against Kyle.
Yeah.
And stream it. I got to see who wins. What?
I'm not that guy. I don't play that much though.
I've never.
So,
I didn't even know UFC had a game.
I don't know. I like drinking beer if I can.
It's that balance, bro.
Yeah.
It's that balance. What's your go-to beer?
I don't know. Like probably just like a Coors Light.
Typical construction guy.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Yeah,
I'm a hillbilly, dude. Yeah,
You're from
I'm a hillbilly.
Somerset.
Yeah, I'm from Somerset. So
It's like, how much? Okay, how much is it? I've never been there, so I don't know. Is it like open land, or
yeah, just like a little town, and then a bunch of farms and stuff.
that's dope.
Like
I would
Laurel Island. It's like the Laurel Island.
I should have grown up in a spot like that.
It was nice growing up. Yeah, my nan had a farm up the road, so we were just like, I don't know, we were hellions.
Was it
It was fun.
Was it what type of farm? I guess is the question.
Well, they had dairy. I mean, not dairy cows. They had beef cows growing up, but then my mom rode horses her whole life, so we had horses and like we just rode quads and stuff.
Dude, my family
shit
has
up.
farms in Puerto Rico, man. It's like a whole different. I grew up in a city, and then I go back to Puerto Rico, and it's like, hey, you gotta tend to the animals. I'm like, I've never done this shit in my life, dude. What do you mean?
It's
I gotta
hard.
pick up.
But I'm not like a farmer. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not like a farmer by any means. But
You just reap the benefits.
yeah,
You ever ride horses?
yeah. My mom rode
Dude,
horses
it's
growing up, so
crazy.
yeah,
I love
had
it.
horses until I was probably like 10. We
got-
had horses.
I got
so-
told recently, hey, you might be too big for this horse. I'm like, it's a horse. Like them
Yeah.
things they can
They're
carry
supposed to be
anything.
work horses.
Yeah, like come on. So you like to hang out, you like to drink beer. I love it.
You like that?
When I
figure it. Nah, I don't know.
Usually
I don't
people
know
are
what my hobbies are, man.
yoga,
Just, like,
meditating.
I'll
like,
just do whatever
beer.
somebody asks me to do, I guess. If I'm bored, somebody.
I'm gonna ask you to do some things.
Yeah, shit. There's another one. I can't
That's two.
stop. Yeah.
That's two. Obviously, this sport requires a lot of like self-reflection and stuff, but a very big thing I found to be influential is the people you surround yourself by, mentors, coaches. Who are some of those people for you that kind of paved the way
Oh
for
man,
you?
there's been so many. For MMA,
Yeah.
I would say the biggest one had
Not
to
for
be
beer drinking.
Yeah,
For MMA.
yeah, Danilo Belfort.
Okay.
He
I've
would
yet
have
to
to
go.
be-
I've been
Oh, dude, he's got an awesome setup. He's got an
I've yet to
awesome,
go.
just like an awesome gym atmosphere. Really good jiu-jitsu, and it just everybody there's got their wits about them. They're looking out for your health and safety, and they genuinely care about you. It's just like it's a good gym. It just they got a good environment there. But I think that speaks volumes on Danilo. I mean, I think that he was definitely the biggest mentor as far as MMA goes for me. I mean, I would be lying if I said he wasn't. But there's been so many people that have come into my life and have left in ways or have stayed close, but that I've worked with and that have helped me. I mean, just for example, Richie was just in here. He was one of my first boxing coaches.
Dude,
So I worked with Richie a lot, and you know what I mean? I think he's super knowledgeable. I think he's got a good thing going for him. But yeah, he's
I've
a cool
heard of
dude. He
him.
helped me a lot in that part of my life, and I'll always have a lot of respect for him. But there's been so many people like him that have came into my life and kind of gave me a lot of their energy and have done their part. And
He's a good dude, man.
He is a good dude, and he's really knowledgeable about the sport.
Yeah,
and he was very tough too. He was a very good MMA fighter, and he never went pro, but he had I think 30 amateur fights or something
yeah,
crazy.
he's nuts. And like, I heard of him,
Yeah.
and I've seen him in passing.
Yeah, he's
And
awesome.
it wasn't until I had a conversation with him and it posted, dude, the amount of people who have flooded my DMs like, oh, dude, he's such a good dude. He did this for me.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude. I learned this from him. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
He's worked with a lot of really good guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
At his sanctuary.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Yeah, I worked with him before he even had that, but yeah. We would work in the mat factory in the back corner.
Yeah, because he was there too.
Yeah,
the
way
Mat
back.
Factory's like the beacon of
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah,
everyone
I
has.
think that they're the pioneers, definitely. I was talking to my brother the other day about Dempsey had posted a picture and I was in the background and I was like, that was pretty cool for me, because I mean, I've known Chris for a long time, but I grew up watching him when he was at UPJ wrestling. I grew up 10 minutes away from UPJ. So I grew up in Hosopel Jerome area, which is right down the road. And then I moved out to Berlin later in my life. But, I grew up watching this guy and he's a pioneer of the sport. He doesn't have to be the best fighter in the world in order to do what he's done for the city of Pittsburgh, I think, in a way. And I think there's a story too about him holding out on Bellator and waiting for the UFC. And then Isaac got him a short notice fight on a card in Dublin with Conor McGregor. And that was Chris's UFC debut. So against Latifi.
Yeah.
Right. So that's cool. I mean, because it's a guy in Pittsburgh that's done it, and he's a guy that was a wrestler. So that looking at it as a young kid, like you could go and you could fight in the UFC. And I think that's what they brought to Pittsburgh, Yeah, at first, more so than anything, because then they had Dom Mazzata, and I know that Mark Cherico trained in there a lot, along with his own place. But they've had some of the best. I mean, Dalton kind of really started at the Mat Factory. Cody Law was down there heavily. They've had some of the best fighters in Pittsburgh, come through there, and then they have guys like Justin Patton training in there a lot. And I've been in there at the same time that Siebert's been in there, and you see a lot of the guys that are winning at a high level in the city that they're doing a lot of cross training or training at the Mat Factory. So you got to respect those guys.
Dude, I will say this, they're dogs. They're dogs, bro. I did a podcast. I'll tell this story every time I can. I did a podcast with Isaac. I did it right next door to at the rehab center next door to his gym.
It's cool. He's got a nice little spot there.
Yeah, and I wear my rash guard, because it's like we're at a jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
Right? So episode over, he's like, hey, we got a private training going on. You want to jump in? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. Like,
who was it?
Dude, it was Cody Law. It was Cody Gamble. It was a couple of his brown belts. I'm like, okay. I always say I'm just a blue belt in my mind. I'm like, I'm about to get fucking steamrolled. We're warming up. I'm like, okay. Dude, we start going. Cody Gamble. I think I'm strong. That motherfucker is an ape. Like, dude, he grabbed me.
I think Krause grappled him. And Krause is like that too. Krause is an ape. And
Bro.
I think Gamble wrestled him.
Two gorillas going at it.
But I think Gamble got the better of him pretty good. So I assume he's pretty strong,
Dude, he's strong and he's mobile.
Yeah. I think he was a pretty solid wrestler.
I don't want to say for being a big guy. Like, just in general, the dude can move.
Yeah.
And
is he still there?
Gamble?
Yeah.
Yeah, last I knew.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen him. I think he's like doing the family thing now, which is very respectable. Dude, I threw up. I have a hiatal hernia they call it. So I was having issues with it, and we're rolling. I'm like, dude, I think it's acting up. Like, I need to take a second. I sit there. I'm like, I'm about to puke.
Yeah.
I go outside, dude, let it out, turn around. Isaac's there with his phone. I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, nope, I feel good now. It was just the rolls, and then going back at it. But like, some of the toughest rolls I've had.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the way Isaac does it. He's like,
yeah,
hey, you're here. I'm gonna invest into you.
Yeah.
And I expect everything from you because he gives you everything.
Yeah, he's
no
a
matter
good dude.
Where it's at, he gives you everything. It's a disrespect to go in there and half-ass the training.
Yeah.
So I'm like pushing myself to a level I wasn't at. I had no business being at that point, and I just saw what I ate that morning. It wasn't lovely. What's next for you? Like you got a lot going on. What can people expect next?
Man, I don't know. I guess a lot of good things. I think that I'm aligning myself right now with a lot of things that maybe I've attracted for a long time that are just coming to me. I think that you're going to see me fight at the highest level. I guess I wouldn't discriminate if the PFL called me eventually, or if the UFC called me. I think I would jump on whichever one called me first. Ideally, you would want the UFC, but I think that that's in my future. I don't know how soon, but I know it's in my future. And then I would just think that like just continuing to be happy and chase down, I guess, the right things and the right people. So wherever it leads me. But I'm not sure on that. But I know that it'll be good things. I've been helping St. Vincent. I'm going to take a more active role here when the season comes around with their wrestling program, and staying involved in the NCAA is something that I wanted to do because coming back after coaching Division I last year was a little bit eye-opening for me. I look at the sport a little bit differently, which I'm happy that I do. But I wanted to stay active with college coaching in some facet, so be helping out there. They have a great head coach. They made a new hire, so I think I'm really excited for the trajectory of their program and where it's going to go in the future. I think it's going to end up being a really good Division III school. It's in a good location, and like I said, Colin Johnston's a great coach. He's going to really do great things there. He's a Western PA guy that has succeeded at the highest level. So it's going to be easy to work under a guy like that and trust and respect him. But Yeah, I mean, I guess just gonna get some fights in. That's where where my head's at mainly is I want to get to 5-2, 6-2 by this time next year, so that
You're gonna be active, busy.
yeah, that's I want to stay active. That's the goal. So I was trying to fight October, and then I wanted to go December again, but then the fight fell through. So now we're in December anyway. So then we'll try to go December, March, June, August, hopefully. Right, that's what I'm thinking out.
Yeah.
So, and then hopefully I can get back to 247. But, right now I'm in the spot of my life and career where I got to jump on whatever opportunity I get that's going to advance myself, to where I want to be.
A wise man once said, every lion who chases the zebra doesn't catch the zebra.
Yeah.
But every lion that caught the zebra had to chase it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Shout out Richie.
Yeah. I like that.
Dude,
That's
I will
good.
use that any
Yeah.
chance I get because, dude, it's the same quote as you miss 100% on the shots you don't take.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, and it's like a lot of people nowadays are like trying to handpick things, and it's like if you're trying to compete at the highest level, or you want the promotion, or you want whatever it is, and you're not doing everything in your power to do that, risking loss,
Yeah, and that's a big thing is risking loss that people don't want to do. And I mean, I shouldn't be in the situation I am in now, but I'll own it, and I know where I'm at and I know where I'm headed. So it's not necessarily a big deal. But the biggest goal that I have is to get 20 pro fights. You know what I mean? Because generally, like everything I've done in my entire life, I've been successful in if I really put focus into it. There's not many things that I would say that I put focus into that I wasn't very good at, and that's not being cocky, that's just being realistic. So, I mean, I know that if I get 20 pro fights and I get that many reps, that I'm going to learn so much on my own that I'm going to win most of them.
Yeah,
At
there's
least
a lot
I'd like
of
to
lessons
think
in
that.
It's better to take the losses now
Yeah.
than later, dude.
Yeah, but you have to do that in order to get where I want to go anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess leaning into the part of being a professional fighter a little bit more is what I'm going to try to do.
If someone told you you need to lose 10 times before you get to the UFC, how fast do you want to lose?
I don't want to lose.
No, I'm saying
But,
that's the situation.
Fuck,
You need to
10
lose
fights.
10 times right now
Yeah.
to get into UFC. How fast are you going to say, well, I'll
It's going
lose
to take
now?
me 2 or 3 or 4 years, 5 years,
Or let's say 5.
Yeah, 5 years, 6 years to get to the UFC then. Because, like, realistically, if you're going to lose 10 fights, how many are you going to have to win?
No, don't. You're thinking too far into it. This is just take what you got. 5 fights. You need to lose 5 fights. Doesn't matter how far apart they are, how much you prepare for them. Just 5 losses, and you get called to the UFC. How fast would you schedule your fights?
I mean, I'd probably schedule a lot.
Immediately, right?
Yeah, I'd be letting it fly.
You'd be like,
because
I
then I
want-
got a couple that I can lose, so I can fight a lot freely, like a lot more free. You know what I mean? I can just let it fucking
They say
bang.
win, lose, or draw. You need to lose 5.
Because I like to be like that anyway. But I think that if I was a little bit more like that, I think I'd be a lot more entertaining. So that's a little bit more of my goal too. Is just, hey man, fight a little bit more freely. And like you said, like I think I'm pretty unpredictable too. Go high, go low. You know what I mean? Always keeping them guessing. Sometimes like just trying to really approach the yin and yang as much as I can in all facets. But I think if I let it bang a little bit more, I'd be a lot more scary as a fighter.
Dude, let it air.
Yeah.
Bro, let it air, man.
Because I hit hard. I know I hit hard.
I've heard.
Yeah.
No, and like I heard that quote, and it's like, especially with business, right? Like you need to have 5 business failures before your successful one. How
Yeah.
fast do you want to fail? Fast. I want to fail right now, all 5 back to back, so I can get there. But we don't approach that because we're so scared to lose, quote unquote. And like when you look at a successful person, how many times has that person failed before he got to where he's at? A lot of times.
Yeah.
He's just learned to grow, adapt, and take lessons from every failure.
Yeah.
But we don't like that L on our record. It's like, ugh,
No,
but it's
yeah,
like
it's definitely like, yeah, it's
you gotta approach it in a way of like, I gotta get in there and get busy.
yeah.
Stay relentless.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You mentioned
Let's go.
plug, relentless plug.
I didn't know what you were doing there. That was
Come on,
nice.
man, come on. I like to bring
Yeah.
it full circle. You mentioned coaching. What has coaching meant to you, and what has it brought you?
I don't know. I think it's cool just seeing, kids learn from your mistakes, and even if they're not learning from your mistakes and then they're winning at a way higher level than you are, then it's still just, it's rewarding because you're pouring a lot of energy into them, and you generally are invested in their career, and you love them, and then you care about them, and you want them to do great. And you're just trying to guide them as much as you can. So yeah, it's awesome. It's really rewarding. I mean, when you see a guy like we had, Rowan Holmes went and won a state title, and then knowing where he's come from and working with him the whole time, like, it's pretty cool, to be at the Giant Center and seeing him and how happy him and his family are, or when you have guys like Cross Cassie that, obviously Cross has always been very good, but I think that once he started coming out, to our place and working a lot more with us, and then I took the head coaching job to coach him down at Bedford, I think that, like, just seeing him and where he's at now is, like, it's cool, because I don't know if he would have believed in himself as much, until he got to a certain point. So really just seeing the kids that are talented and pumping a lot of belief into them. Seeing a kid like Elijah Brown go and take fourth in the Pennsylvania Freestyle State Tournament and then go win Fargo 2 months later, once you start really working with him, it's pretty cool, But now it's seeing where he's at and having him decommit from Pitt and looking at some of these big time schools. It's pretty cool to see that. So it's rewarding, and that it's something that maybe the way you influence them is maybe change his life in a way, and that's what you hope for.
Yeah, and not only that,
because there's so many people that come into your career like that you need to have a positive outlook with, and you need to know, I think, at a certain level, that you have people from all stages of your life that actually genuinely care about you, and I think that's when you can get a guy really, really good, because he knows that each step of his career, he's had people looking out for him, so he can believe in his training and his abilities.
Isn't it crazy how much team goes into a sport that?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Individual?
Yeah, it's crazy. But then a lot of times guys will get good in spite of people, I think, too. And I know a couple of people like that they won just because they were mad at the way things were going,
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah, so I guess you never really know how it's going to affect the athlete, but you want it to be as positive as possible.
And as a good coach, you have to be able to decipher that.
Yeah.
And use that.
I think, it's pretty easy too. I do think it's easy to do that in a way, like I do, but I think it's easy to recognize talent and where a guy's going, depending on who he surrounds himself with.
My favorite was I won't speak of the gym or the people, but I remember I was in on this training and I was helping this guy work, and the dude just didn't seem like he wanted to be there. Mind you, I'm doing this on my own time.
Yeah.
I don't get paid to coach or to get beat up by professional fighters. So I'm doing this genuinely because I'm invested. And then the other person doesn't seem invested. I remember the coach looked at me and was like, you keep approaching shit like this, you'll never be anything, and walked away.
Yeah.
Dude, and we just sat there, and a dude just, you could tell something like switched.
Yeah.
And then the next round was a fight of my life. I was like, holy fuck. I was like, dude, that was your best round yet. He just walked away, didn't say shit to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, whatever. I ended up finding that coach after, and he's like, how good was his training now? I was like, dude, he just whooped my ass.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, that's how you have to connect with him. I'm like, oh, you just got to talk shit because that's my specialty.
Yeah.
Dude, but it's like,
yeah,
that
sometimes
coach
you do
knew,
that. Yeah.
like, I'm pouring into him. I'm not getting it. Let me try this approach. And it wasn't malicious. It may have come off degrading, you know, but like in this sport, you have to have thick skin. And that's how he approached him.
Yeah, 100%.
He was like, all right, like this is like, you'll never be anything.
Yeah.
And the dude just turned it on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you have the ability.
Yeah.
You have the ability. So yeah, coaching, like a good coach will exploit that and use it to benefit you.
Yeah.
You know, and like there's coaches who just may act like that because they're pissed off.
Yeah.
But it goes back to that thing you said about the good intention. Like what is your intention in coaching? What is your intention in approaching this? What is
just
your
trying
intention?
to genuinely help everybody that comes to me, or even if they're not coming to me, just trying to help them and in any way give them a positive experience on the sport, because you're just trying to grow the sport at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's my role, or that's what I like to do. So it doesn't matter necessarily, like I get a little bit less intense with it as I once did, I think. Just trying to be a positive source for wrestling in general.
A rising tide raises all ships.
That's right.
What advice do you have for young athletes looking to get into MMA or make MMA their thing?
Don't.
I will, because you've done this for a long time.
Don't get into it, though.
Don't.
Yeah, don't do it.
It's that reinforcement he's doing right now. That negative reinforcement.
I don't know, man. I think just find a good group of guys and understand, like, do your own research. The best way to learn is through self-knowledge, ultimately, right? You know, self-study is the best form of study, I think. You know, that's a little Bruce Lee, but I think that's a big thing, is know who you're around and know the guys and what they've done and know their shortcomings and know where they've been successful, and trying to find a good atmosphere and jump into it and really immerse yourself in the sport, and don't be afraid to take risks and go places that you have to go, or travel and experience it in a different light sometimes, and then bring things back, and try to just always ultimately grow your skill set, and not always in a competitive approach. Sometimes you're competitive with it, but other times you need to, be hands off and be laid back and just try to think in a different light, and, think of your approach to the sport in a completely different way, whether it's positive or negative, or it makes you look good or it makes you look bad. It's not about that. It's about what it's going to help you with at the end, and that would be my guidance.
Doing what's necessary, dude.
Doing what's necessary, because sometimes you're going to look like an idiot, but that's just, I think, a part of the process sometimes, unfortunately.
Especially in a sport like this, where someone's going to be better than you. You are going to come short in some things.
Yeah.
But are you going to let that stop you from going, or are you going to use that?
Most people do. So you just kind of put them on that track at first, because then the ones that I think really turn out to be good are, I don't know, you see that later, right? Because it develops. It's a really long process. So be in for the long haul if you're going to do it, because you can't be in just for a little bit. It's too hard for that.
They get phased out. You see those guys and girls who come in and they you can tell they're half in, half out. But if you approach like that, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, you got to just kind of embody the lifestyle, I guess.
And doing what's required. Every time I see you, you're fucking training at Penn State, or you're training over here, and I'm
trying to train in different spots.
Where is this dude from?
Yeah, I guess I'm not opposed to traveling, and but I gotta pee real fast, so we might have to take a little break.
No, we're winding down. We're winding down. We're winding down. I got two more things.
Okay.
So after the episode is aired, people have listened to your episode, and they're like driving home or driving to work, and now it's over. If you can give them one message to apply to their lives from everything we've talked about, what would that be?
Just know what you're doing before you do it. And I think that's some things that I sometimes haven't even realized. Like, have a goal, have a plan, and then have a way that you're going to attack that plan. And that's the easiest way to be successful in anything, is know what you're doing. Some people, and I've noticed that a lot in their wrestling or their grappling, is like they don't even know what they're doing. They're just doing it subconsciously or aimlessly. So it's easy to get them in a pattern where you know what to expect. So you can just expose them on a different part that they're not prepared for, because they're just aimlessly going through the motions. So just know what you're doing, and then try to attack it and try to do it genuinely and honestly with everything you got. And most of the time, you're going to end up on top.
That's a good one. I like that one. And where can people follow you online if they want to follow your fight career and what you're doing?
Just probably my Instagram at TKHillTM. That's probably the best way to follow me. I try to be a little bit hands off with social media, and just with my phone in general. I just kind of set it down, and sometimes I don't answer it. So it's not it's like I don't know. It's not my fault sometimes. I apologize to anybody that gets offended, but I'm just kind of just doing my own thing,
Hey, sometimes being unplugged's the best thing.
Yeah.
Well, bro, I appreciate you for coming out. Yeah. This is the one with Taylor Cahill. Go follow him. Follow his fight. He's got one coming in December. I'm looking forward to that. Follow the Relentless Project online, Relentless PRJCT on everything. And doing that, you can follow more stories of more people I talk to.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate you coming on. This is the one with Taylor Cahill. We're out. Later.